Hello there and welcome to the All-Rounder Debate Show. My name's Luke and we have our two debaters, as we will call them.
Debaters, it's very good.
Tate.
Hey, how we going? It's good to be here.
And Jack.
G'day.
Very talkative one, isn't he?
Very talkative today.
Keeping it plain and simple, keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Righto, so today's debate will be...
We got 3 debates planned for today. It is the...
Terminator
Vs Dalek and
Cloverfield versus Godzilla, and then we have the worst monster movie ever.
Alright, so Lenehan, do you want to start us off? Who's going to go
Alright,
first?
so first off we will have Jack debating for...
The Terminator.
The Terminator.
Good one. Nice one.
Take it away.
Take it away, bro.
The Terminator is basically the brainchild of James Cameron's filmmaking genius, and by the way, James Cameron, he's the guy that made Titanic, so, yep. Anyway, the Terminator is basically this cyborg which has this program to kill every human being in existence, and in the first movie we see a Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, killing Linda Hamilton, playing Sarah Connor, this waitress who apparently...
Sarah Connor.
Anyway, she thinks that she has no role in life whatsoever until she comes into contact with this soldier from the future who explains to her that she bears a child who will save humanity from extinction from the rise of the machines. Anyway, a Terminator is basically resemblance to a human skeleton, except it has all these hydraulic pressures thingies which make it lift more weights than human beings. So, like, for example, in the third film, you'll see Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, holding a coffin with shitloads of weapons and holding him whilst holding this big machine gun and kicking through a mausoleum, somehow undistracted by the gunshots from the policemen who think that he's a killer or something like that. Anyway, my point is they're basically unstoppable by, like, normal guns and firearms. You only need to destroy them or... Anyway.
So, can I have a go? Can I go now?
Yep. Alright, I believe it is Tate's turn now.
Alright, the first thing I want to say is, this will be part of my, this is like the start of my little bit of rebuttal, is you never, ever mention Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. You just don't, alright? It was a crappy movie. You know why? Because James Cameron didn't direct it. They brought in new writers and they completely destroyed the timeline of like of one of the most iconic movie storylines in history. But enough of that. Let's talk about the Dalek. The Dalek is indestructible. It's an alien. It can think for itself. All Terminators are run through Skynet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Daleks can think for themselves. They created their own civilization. Did the Terminators do that?
They tried to.
They tried to, but they didn't because they all have a robot boner for John Connor. All right.
But the Terminator...
Do you want to know what else? The Daleks, they've committed genocide. They committed genocide of at least one known race. I haven't seen the Terminators do that. Have they done that?
No, not yet.
Exactly.
That was what they attempted to do.
That's what they attempted to do, but they didn't. That makes the Dalek is a better robot. It is a better enemy to the Doctor.
So what you're saying is the Dalek's a better robot because it's a better serial killer.
Yes! We're talking about what is the best villain robot here. That was like debate. If it is the Dalek, there's no disputing it. It's the Dalek. Because can the Terminator destroy another Terminator?
Yes.
How? With its own weapons.
Yeah.
Can it?
If it's reprogrammed and if the Terminator it's attacking is going against that programming, and it will resort to killing the Terminator.
How can it kill the Terminator?
Like they always try to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger in every Terminator movie.
Yeah.
Well, not every Terminator.
Not every Terminator movie. He did come back.
Hold on.
Times.
While we're talking about Daleks,
Anglicized.
how many times have the Daleks been beaten by the Doctor? Almost every freaking time, and he's meant to be the last of the Time Lords. They have basically killed creatures that can travel through time, they master time machines, and yet they can't even kill one Time Lord. So
You
how
can't-
can they...
The Terminators can't even kill a tiny little boy! And he's not even born yet! So tell me that, Jack! That's it! Come on, bro. You gotta have more than that.
Alright, calm down.
Sorry, a bit passionate.
I believe it is now Jack's turn, considering you've been talking for the past 3 minutes.
There we go.
Dave.
Alright, Jack, rebuttal time.
Alright. There's one episode in Doctor Who called Dalek, and basically it's one lone Dalek being imprisoned for 50 whole years. You know what happens when it's stuck there all by itself? It loses all ideas of genocide and all that. It feels cold, it feels emotion. You know, that's one of the reasons, weaknesses of Dalek. Emotion. Because it's not meant to have emotion, and if it does have emotion, then it's gonna screw the shit out of them. But
Jack, I would like to remind you that this is a PG-rated show, and...
No, it's
Please
PG,
try to
this is
refrain-
PG-13 for all of our American... all of our American is PG-13, so...
like it is.
Right, okay. You may continue.
Oh, jeez. And anyway, it's meant. The Dalek explains to the Doctor that it has to receive, that it's a soldier and it's going to receive orders, but the Doctor explains that there is no one else left, so it can't receive orders. Therefore, Dalek cannot act by itself if it wants to have orders. But since there's no one to give it orders, then it cannot act on itself. But a Terminator can.
Who invented the Terminators? Like, who invented the first Terminator?
The guy who invented Skynet.
Well, I'm not familiar with
No, Skynet invented the Terminator.
So Skynet invented the Terminators?
Yes.
Alright, and they have never, ever gotten out of Skynet. They've all been controlled by Skynet. Yeah?
Except for that one guy.
Except for that one guy, the one who always comes back.
Yeah.
But he's not the one who knocks. That's double points for a Breaking Bad reference. Come on. So, the guy who invented the Dalek, what's his name? I forget. Davros. They left him. Obviously, there was a couple of Daleks who stayed behind to take care of him and that. But they left him and they started their own race. I mean, your Terminators haven't even left. It's like, the Daleks have already left their mum. Your Terminator is still sucking at its breast. That's what it is.
But here's the problem with the Daleks. The Daleks, they believe in racial purity, but since Davros is a Khalid, he is therefore not a Dalek, which makes him a target of his own creation.
But that being said, the Daleks have actually gone back to him and helped. That is, they've come in and helped. I've probably really screwed up my argument by just saying that. But I'll do my closing statement now.
Right.
The Daleks, this was one of my main plots. The Daleks have committed genocide of at least one known race due to the story with the 7th Doctor that was in the 13 stories. Do you remember reading that? When they alternate timeline, they created more
Daleks?
and they create the Daleks became a more physiological race, right?
Yeah.
They've committed genocide. They are pure. You said that they're bred. They're pure evil. The Terminators are from one main central square. Each Dalek has its own unique evil. Your Terminators are part of one, and we can cut off Skynet, and the Terminators are done. That's how it works. And that's it. I'll rest my case.
Jack, your closing statement?
I honestly cannot top that. I honestly can't.
Well, if that's all, then I believe, as Jack has just pretty much stated, the winner is Tate. And the Daleks.
That was good debate though.
Yeah.
Alright, shall we get to our second one?
Yep, righto. The second debate.
Right, for the next debate is the Cloverfield monster versus Godzilla, and I will take the Godzilla.
Alright.
Now, I haven't done much research, but I've grabbed it on from knowledge. So, Godzilla is one of those iconic movie moments. You've got a big, giant lizard that destroys the shit out of stuff. Alright? That is epic. I remember when I watched Godzilla, the 2004 remake, the coolest part of that movie was when Godzilla had shot blue fire out of his mouth. How badass is that? Okay, Jack, you can go now.
Alright. Cloverfield basically comes from the movie, of course, with the same name. It's like a found footage movie, like you know how the movie's always seen in some sort of camera. Anyway, it follows just a bunch of people trying to run through New York after they realise that their city is being attacked by a giant alien creature that's literally teared the Statue of Liberty right in half. And basically the military is helpless to stop it. So basically, it follows almost the same thing as Godzilla, but instead of being created out of radioactive waste and being like reptile from Earth, it's alien, and it came from outer space. So that I think it has the edge because they're facing a creature with a different physiology, and they cannot find any creatures on Earth that can relate to Cloverfield. So that gives it its little advantage. So,
but do you know what you just said? That was good. I will give you that. But what you just said basically is, God's. So what I was saying before. Sorry, there was a bit of a technical difficulties there. So the thing is, we can actually relate. Lizards are like one of the largest radius species on the planet. So many lizards in this world. That's what makes it realistic. That's what makes it somewhat realistic, even though it's science fiction. Because that could become what this is. If the Cold War had not gone the way it did, where absolutely nothing happened, we could have had a giant lizard monster that's eating the shit out of stuff. Now, obviously, Ken Watanabe. I mean, how cool would it be? Let me just say, how cool would it be? Because Legendary owns Pacific Rim and Godzilla now. If Ken Watanabe goes to the the robots from Pacific Rim and Godzilla, let them fight. Okay, that's it. You go.
Alright, Jack, second statement.
ooh. Well, like I said before, Cloverfield, follows along the same lines as Godzilla, but how Tate was saying that there were reptiles that could be relatable to Godzilla, but since J.J. Abrams made the alien essence into the whole monster destroying city thing, that's what makes it kind of suspenseful, because sometimes when they're making monsters based on actual creatures, they'll use behaviours from those certain creatures. So, like, for example, from World War Z, you'll find, like, hordes of the undead acting like army ants and often piling on top of each other. Ever seen the scene in Jerusalem where they're going over the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
I have not seen that movie, so I do not know.
You can leave now.
Look,
What a waste of good source material.
Look, my point is that Cloverfield, since it has an alien origin, alien biology, and like certain aspects which aren't from Earth, that's what gives it suspenseful, and that's what makes it terrifying. So, like, if you were in an actual situation like this and facing against a creature from an alien world, you wouldn't be able to find any relation to it to any creature on Earth. So that's what makes it suspenseful. Even if it's a found footage horror film thing.
Right. This is my closing statement. This will be my closing statement.
Right.
So, the found footage thing, that was a unique thing. That was very unique. But then Paranormal Activity and made complete shit of it.
Yeah.
What Paranormal Activity did to the found footage stuff is basically what Twilight did to vampires. Alright. So, but the thing is, I love movies that involve aliens because you can bring in like Star Trek. Star Trek was like
Basically all aliens.
Yeah, basically all aliens. But the thing is that I feel about aliens is that every movie they're in, I think they're just forced in because they can't find any good source material on Earth. All right, so that's my closing statement.
Right, Jack, your closing statement?
Well, I have to follow on with Tate. I do like alien movies. I mean, I have Battleship at home and I kind of like it. I mean, honestly, like if you hate the movie, like that's your opinion. But when it comes to fun, but with aliens, they're unpredictable. Like you don't know.
Sorry guys, we just had another technical difficulty. Man, we're getting a lot of those today.
Oh,
First
yeah.
video.
Jeez.
Give some by the way.
Have to iron out all those bugs.
Yeah. Right, so you go
Right,
on.
Jack, continue.
Anyway, so the unpredictability of aliens in movies, that's what makes it scary. Like, cause you don't know if their behaviour is going to be like animals. You don't know the way that they kill, the way they talk to one another. Maybe like something you say or something you do could act as offence to them. So, like for example, in Iran, if you put two thumbs up, it's the same as putting up the rude finger in Australia, or doing the OK sign in Japan. That's also rude, either way.
The more you know.
Yep. Learning and grow.
Lesson learned, kids.
Yep.
All right.
I'm done.
You're right, done. So
Alright, done.
Oh.
So, guys, I reckon that was a tie. It was a close fight, and I really can't pick who won that.
Damn.
Alright,
What
our
about
final debate for today. Worst monster movie ever. Who wants to start?
Alright. What I did is probably something that most of you listening won't actually know, but it's a movie called Robomon, and it's a 1940s horror, like monster horror flick. Basically, Robomon is the shortened term for robotic monster. Now, one of the first mistakes, if you ever actually watch the movie, is the monster isn't robotic at all. It's just a friggin' gorilla suit with nothing more but those 1800 scuba diving suits. Ever seen one of them, Luke?
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, the monster, it attacks humans living on an island, and it manages to kill all but 8 survivors. But just as soon as we think it's going all right, it turns to one of the most disgusting moments in monster history, as Robomon, the monster, has a crush on one of the female survivors, like a boner for that woman, and
So it's like
basically like
absolutely
Godzilla.
sick. It's absolutely
No, King Kong.
King
King Kong.
Yes, basically like King Kong, yeah. And just when you thought that it wasn't going to get sick enough, at the end of the movie, you realise that all this horror, all this killing and all, was nothing more but a dream. So you think that one person on Earth has dreams of gorillas with scuba diving suits killing people and having crush on blonde women who are being killed by that monster, then that dude has obviously got some sick problems.
You know what
He
his name?
needs help.
You know what his name is? Michael Bay.
He screwed up so many films. He
But
screwed up.
we're not here to debate Michael
We're not here
Bay.
to debate Michael Bay. We'll do
All
that
right.
later.
All right. So the first thing, one of the things I picked out was Robomon. Sounds like Pokemon, but it's not like Pokemon, which sucks. I would go see that movie because I'm a huge Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the movie you picked, not many people know it. I'm gonna pick a movie that a lot of people do know, and this was. I could have gone with a generic monster movie, but I didn't. I went with Shrek the Third. Oh my goodness, that movie just was so disappointing. Yeah. DreamWorks Animation had just really done it that time.
They stuffed up the Shrek franchise.
It completely screwed over the Shrek franchise. It shouldn't have ever been made because the total premise of the plot is terrible. I mean, the king's dying, but Sorry, Leonard has just shown me like a real bogan photo. Right, sorry. Yeah, sorry guys, another technical difficulty. So, where was I going? Yeah, Shrek the Third. Okay, the premise of that movie was just so bad. The plot made absolutely no sense, which was basically, the king's dead, but we've got a princess, but we've got to find another prince. Oh my goodness, you have a princess, you don't need another prince. He's a cousin. It doesn't work like that. That's like saying Lancel Lannister should become the next Lord of King's Landing, while Tyrion Lannister and Jaime Lannister are still there. And like, it should never have been made. It was a waste. It was a waste of time. It was a worst waste of 90 minutes of my life.
Why choose Justin Timberlake for the role of Arthur?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like Justin Timberlake playing like little Yogi Bear, which he did.
Quite true.
Yeah,
Pretty
right.
sure, yeah.
I'm smarter than the average bear. No, you're not. You're a bear. Jesus. Jesus. All right. So yeah, you go on, Jack.
Honestly, I have to kind of agree with you. Like, I mean, some of the acting and some of the plot may have been bad, but I think Shrek Forever After was worse than Shrek
The reason
3.
they made Shrek Forever After was trying to correct the mistakes of Shrek the Third,
Which both failed.
which both failed. But I feel that Shrek the Third was just something that never should have been done at all, because the first Shrek, that was okay. They got I think they got 60 to 70 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The second one, for me, it was tolerable. Like,
Horrible.
it was okay to watch. It was something that I could watch and say, oh well, they had that one scene that it was like that I could live with it. But Shrek the Third, it was so boring. It was just boring. It was disappointing.
Terrible. Right, Jack, continue.
Well, you're right on most of the stuff about Shrek the Third, but however, my movie, it was around a time when radioactive monsters were attacking cities and people, and it was during the time when nuclear weapons were being built and were unpredictable, like could cause so much harm. They never knew how that radiation can't make ants grow 10 times or 100,000 times their size. They never know that. But we now know that basically...
We now know it's more of a science fiction type of thing.
Yeah, but honestly, Robomon is one that easily gets sent in the bin. Easily.
Alright, I'll do my closing statement now.
Yep.
Robomon, is that a Japanese film? Has it been adapted into English? Is it a Japanese film? Or is it an English
No,
film?
it isn't.
So it's an English film?
Yes. Like, in fact, it's an American film.
It's an American film?
Yes.
You can blame it. Well, that's one of the reasons why it was so bad, am I right?
That was a harsh call.
That was a harsh call,
There's
but it
probably
was...
American viewers out there.
There probably is, but it was the 1940s and there was a lot of movies.
Sorry for my competitor being racist, all you American viewers.
Jack, I wouldn't
That's not race, that's not... Oh, I don't know what to say there. Probably just screwed up my entire argument.
Alright.
Right, continue.
Alright, so the thing is, that year, 1940s, that was a time of experimenting. That was a time of experimenting with movies. But, like, animation had barely... Like, animation wasn't that big of a thing. Like, Walt Disney did it. Walt Disney did it with, like, the earlier films. What was it? Snow White.
Snow White was 1937.
Yeah, Snow White was 1937, right? Animation was a thing that was popular, but it hadn't kicked off. And that was a time that you could make mistakes. Nowadays, you've got really competitive... The movie industry is now really competitive. You can't make a movie and expect it to do... You can't make a movie and just expect it to do well because you've made other movies on it. You have to bring a new source. And that was the problem. I feel like I've seen Shrek the Third before. It was like all reused. And anyway, okay, Jack, you can close now.
Jack, a closing statement?
Well, with experimenting with in the 1940s, they could make the most outrageous stuff. I mean...
Yeah, that was a time of experimenting.
Yeah, I know.
That's not something that you can do. But nowadays, with the movie industry, like today, you can't afford to make mistakes because that's going to cost you money. Like Mario the Super Mario Brothers it didn't even make its budget back. It was so bad.
They made Mario.
Yeah, they did make a Super Mario movie. It was in 19. It had Bob Hoskins in it. It's a very little known movie and it scared the shit out of Nintendo never to make a movie ever again. A live action movie.
Yeah, makes sense.
Alright, so yeah, go on.
Well,
Sorry guys, another technical difficulties. We're sorry, it's just the first video and we're still trialling out where we're recording and such. So, can you go on, Jack, please?
the thing with the experimentation in 1940s, 1950s, it came out with so many good things. I mean, Godzilla had been around 1950s, and I have to say, like, even though I was doing
one of the best original
Cloverfield,
films.
I have to say, it's really memorable. Other movies include The War of the Worlds, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Attack of the Crab Monster. These are 1940s, 1950 films, so
Wasn't
don't bother
War of
trying
the
to see
Worlds
them.
made by Steven Spielberg in like the early 2000s?
The remake, yeah, it had Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
It was based off a book by H.G. Wells, made in 1898.
Yeah.
So, Luke?
Right, so, as I have previously said, it was a very close fight, but on this one, I'm going to have to go with... I'm going to go Jack with Robomon.
Oh, well done. That was good, though. That was good.
Very close fight.
Yeah.
Not much in it.
So, that concludes our first episode. That was good.
Great pilot.
Yes.
Good.
So, if you want to see more of our videos, just click please subscribe. We're a very small community, and we really appreciate it if you can be there with us as we make more and more videos. If you have any more suggestions, please send it to our email address, which is down in the description. And we'll see you next time. Say goodbye, guys. See ya.
See you guys.
Yeah.